I'm Guy Harris, and I'm a childhood friend of Elvis. Actually, we met when I was an infant down here on Adams Street, one block down from here, and at the end of Berry Street. And in the afternoons, I was born in '38, and he was a little over 3 years old at that time. And in the afternoons, Mother and I she'd said she'd take me out on the porch, and we'd watch this little church being built, the Assembly of God Church. It was built the summer that I was born by the Massey brothers. So then, nearly every afternoon, Gladys and Elvis would walk down and, spend some time. And he just started picking at me and playing with me when I was just an infant. And we just grew up together. Well, yeah, whenever, when I got a little bit bigger where I could tag along with them, then I just started tagging along with them and playing with them. And, I thought I was just as big as they was, even though he and Odell, our other friend that just lived a block up the street there, were, like I said, a little over 3 years older than I was. Well, we played up in here a lot, up on these hills up in here. Those three little houses and two bigger houses was over here and here at the birthplace. And we'd play up here on these hills, up here behind the thing, and up on the hill. And just over the hill was a lake that we would, we got just a little bit over. We'd slip off over there and try to catch some brim or something like that, just something to do. And we also played on the Doherty property, which is north of us. Here we played there a lot because actually we would probably played over there more than we did anywhere because that was the path to the creek was be what we was hunting before before it got too late in the day, and we'd mess around over there in those woods, and then we'd go over and hit that path and go down into the creek bed and walk down to a swimming hole. Water down through there would probably be anywhere from ankle deep to knee deep till you got to where we swam down there, and then we'd get back out on the bank. We were that way every day, just kidding, carrying on with each other, and me being a little bit younger than them, I'd get a big laugh out of them arguing back and forth, Odell and them about, we're going to do this, or we're going to do that, or we're not going to do this, or we're not going to do that. And, it's just some guys just young boys that, didn't have nothing else to do, so we'd find something to do. If wasn't anything going on, we'd try to make something happen. Yeah, that was our middle name back then, Trouble. The last time I saw him was here. I was in Tupelo, December 29, 1970. He and Priscilla and a couple of guys that worked with him was in town, and a guy that I worked with on the police department named Bill Mitchell, he got elected sheriff, and so they made him honorary deputy sheriff of Lee County, and after we got all that done, then he and I and Priscilla came out here and visited out in here later on that night, just as it was getting dark. Of course, the chapel wasn't here then, and we parked over in front of the Methodist church that night, just to kind of throw people off, who it might be, and then we walked across and went over to the ball fields, and of course, back behind us up here we had the ball field, and then the swimming pool that I used to take my daughter when she was young up there on my days off in the police department, and we'd swim in the pool and we'd play ball over there in that ballpark. Just different things. He wanted to know if my brother and I ever ever came to the swimming pool, and I told him yeah, and then he wanted to know if we played ball on that field. He said, well, that was his intentions of putting it here so that kids would have somewhere to swim and play ball and stuff and didn't have to play in the pasture or down in the creek and stuff like that. He said, you know, things have changed since me as you were a little fellow. I said, yeah, I don't know if change is good always, but we still have change. Well, it was good because, like I said, I grew up with him, you know, and even after they moved around here in East Tupelo, and then they moved over on Green Street for a while, and then us not having my family not having a vehicle, we'd ever so often the pastor of the Assembly of God Church would take several of us that was good friends with him, my mother and myself and my brother, and we'd go over and visit with him for a while, and just, you know, just friendship. Well, you know, I really don't know because we carried on with each other quite a bit, you know, and but I would have really have loved to have seen him one more time, you know, before he passed on. But our paths just didn't cross, you know. He had one thing to do and I had another, so but we saw a lot of each other back in the 50s and stuff like that, you know. But visiting him up there and him visiting us down here pretty often, and so it was a great friendship for everyone.